Shefali Tsabary, A Radical Awakening, Turn Pain into Power, Embrace Your Truth, Live Free. Dive into a journey of self-discovery and empowerment with Shefali Tsabary's transformative work, A Radical Awakening. This book challenges readers to navigate the intricate webs of patriarchy and ego that confine them, compelling them to unearth their authentic selves. Enriched by personal anecdotes from Shefali's own experiences, the book examines how cultural and familial conditioning can obscure our true identities. It urges women to break free from oppressive societal roles and uncover the false garbs of the ego, which often hide pain and thwart self-realization. From understanding the subtle nuances of masculine-dominated societies to recognizing the masks of victimhood, the journey outlined is one toward healing and reclaiming personal power. Prepare to explore how confronting our deepest fears and traumas enables us to discard ego-driven identities and step into our true, liberated selves, inviting readers to live a life marked by inner truth and personal freedom.
Breaking Patriarchal Chains. Growing up in a patriarchal Indian society, Shefali's journey is a testament to the pervasive and often toxic conditioning that many women endure. Born with light skin and eyes, she was immediately thrust into a spotlight she did not want, subject to unwanted attention from a very young age. By 6, in a desperate attempt for self-protection, Shefali fantasized about becoming a ninja. Yet, the harsh reality of her environment meant that by 12, she'd already been violated by strangers and family alike, with no refuge from these relentless transgressions. Her family environment subtly mirrored these patriarchal norms. Shefali watched her grandmother accept a diminished existence after her husband's death, reducing her own self-worth to mere appearances and perpetuating the belief that a woman's value is tied to her relationships with men. This unquestioned norm cast a long shadow over Shefali's formative years, leaving her to grapple with the conflicting feelings of traditional expectations and her intrinsic sense of self-worth. Patriarchy, with its deeply embedded toxic masculinity, not only scars physically but insidiously shapes women's perceptions of their own identities. From childhood, women like Shefali are unconsciously indoctrinated to seek validation externally, often prioritizing the approval and needs of others above their own self-fulfillment. The system crafts roles: subservient wife, obedient daughter, silent victim, that limit self-exploration and enforce conformity. Yet, the facade of roles such as Shefali's imagined ninja belies an internal struggle, a yearning for autonomy and authenticity. This struggle becomes even more pronounced when societal structures like religion and cultural dogmas further estrange individuals from their genuine selves. Shefali's experience underscores a universal challenge: how societal constructs, draped in traditions and institutional expectations, push individuals towards an externally defined identity and away from genuine self-discovery. In this tangled web of societal and self-imposed expectations lies the ego, a false identity assumed to meet the relentless demand for visibility. Institutions can nurture, but when they become the sole source of identity, they tether individuals, especially women, to roles and expectations that eclipse personal growth. The patriarchal narrative spins a deceptive tale, suggesting that our worth is dependent on external validations rather than the richness of our inner selves. Shefali's story calls for a deeper, honest exploration of identity, urging liberation from these invisible chains toward a self-determined existence free from patriarchal constraints. Ego's hidden masks. Shefali's journey is the tale of wearing and breaking free from the masks of the ego. From a young age, she took on the role of the nurturer, absorbing the burdens of her family and even strangers, going beyond healthy limits to shield her parents from painful truths. As she transitioned into adulthood, Shefali carried this pattern into her personal relationships, notably in her marriage, sacrificing her own needs for the sake of harmony. Her identity became inseparably linked to being a giver, a common ego-driven mask that women often adopt. Shefali's story embodies the complexities faced by those who wear such disguises, which manifest in multiple forms: the victim, martyr, savior, and bleeding empath. Victims perceive themselves as helpless, a mindset that invites exploitation. Martyrs neglect their own needs entirely, prioritizing others above all else. Saviors rushed to solve everyone's problems, neglecting their own. Bleeding empaths lack boundaries, absorbing others' pain as their own, offering help at a personal cost. These roles offer a false sense of goodness, contrasting those who don the controller mask in a bid to appear competent. Controllers are restless, seeking to micromanage every aspect of life, driven by anxiety. Among controllers, perfectionists are harsh critics of themselves, seeking refuge in overachievement. Helicopter personalities hover protectively, micromanaging to the point of self-loss. Then there's the passive-aggressive tyrant, a volatile mix of giving and controlling nature. Initially agreeable and pleasant, they eventually explode under strain. The shield is a facade of invulnerability, a driven leader who unwittingly sacrifices genuine connection for self-preservation. By contrast, takers exhibit self-absorption, binding others to meet their needs. Divas mask their insecurities with arrogance, demanding attention, while princesses rely on entitlement and helplessness to seek affection. Meanwhile, the child clings to an idyllic fantasy world, shunning conflict and self-awareness. These ego-driven identities are defenses constructed to shield us from childhood fears, but they suffocate our true selves. It's only by facing these facades, and sometimes hitting rock bottom, that we can break free and find authenticity. Soul Awakening. Shefali's life was unraveling, and it took a near-fatal car accident to awaken her to the truth. Lying in a roadside ditch, she didn't just find herself outside her vehicle, she realized her soul had also veered off its path. On the surface, Shefali appeared to be thriving, juggling her roles as a caring mother, a devoted wife, and a dedicated PhD candidate. Yet beneath this appearance was a woman who felt profoundly disconnected from her true self. The realization that her marriage couldn't continue unchanged was undeniable. Many of us have experienced a similar loss of self, beginning in childhood, and life's pressures slowly chip away at our essence, leading us to crises and feelings of despair. Fear is often the driving force behind this internal erosion. It clouds our spirit, steering us toward following societal norms and hiding behind facades, rather than confronting our fears head-on. But true healing only begins when we dare to look beyond this fear. Embracing discomfort becomes a necessary step toward rediscovering ourselves. By honestly examining our past, recognizing childhood wounds, and understanding the patterns that have shaped us, we can begin to break free from them. This journey requires acknowledging our part in losing touch with our identity. We repeatedly seek validation from others, bending to fit societal molds and prioritizing external approval over self-love. In doing so, we fail to recognize the power we've always held within. The truth is liberating, no one else holds sway over our happiness or self-worth. The acceptance and worthiness we've been yearning for reside within us, hidden beneath layers of fear and misplaced attempts to please others. This revelation is both a release and a call to return to our authentic selves. Embrace your awakening. As Shefali began to recognize the constraints placed upon her by years of conditioning, she courageously confronted and dismantled each one. When the endless cycle of giving left her drained, she chose to stop, even if guilt initially whispered in her ear. She ceased waiting for her husband to change and let go of the idealized vision of being the perfect wife who would never contemplate divorce. Although concern for her daughter lingered, Shefali realized her ability to be a better mother outside the confines of an unfulfilling marriage. Doubt still crept in, echoing through shame and guilt, questioning her every step. Yet, rather than succumb, she asked herself probing questions: what role does fear play in this? What are my true feelings? Why do I feel this way? Over time, her reliance on these questions diminished as her internal compass charted a new course, leading her to redefine her life's path. She transformed, blossoming from quiet compliance to vibrant defiance, prioritizing her own needs unapologetically. Misunderstanding and judgment from others no longer concerned her. Shefali's journey involved an intense 2-year commitment to self-study and meditation, revealing the damaging patterns born from childhood trauma. This deep inward focus allowed her to not only recognize but also dismantle these patterns, even amidst life's challenges. She unmasked her ego and its false fronts, realizing her tendency to seek others' approval to fill her internal void. Her transformation reached new heights when she began to give from a wellspring of love and abundance rather than fear and deficit. The path is arduous. When old habits resurface, we must turn away and sprint toward our authentic selves. Reflect inwardly, questioning motivations rooted in fear, habit, or the need for external validation. Identify the masks of the ego and inquire what they seek to protect. Most importantly, listen intently to your inner voice. This journey is about cultivating self-awareness, the essential cornerstone for a profound awakening. By recognizing and sitting with our pain, we can finally break free from entrenched patterns. In doing so, we reconnect with our true selves, unlocking the power to thrive authentically.
In A Radical Awakening, Shefali Tsabary offers profound insights into the complex influences that shape our identities and behaviors. Her compelling narrative illustrates the impact of patriarchal paradigms and inherited roles on women's lives, urging them to confront and dismantle these influences. Through her personal journey from victimhood to empowerment, Shefali showcases the transformative power of self-awareness and introspection. The book emphasizes the importance of facing fears and breaking free from ego-driven masks to cultivate a genuine connection with one's true self. By embracing self-love and discarding the relentless pursuit of external validation, women can tap into innate power and live with authenticity and purpose. This poignant guide serves as a call to action, inspiring readers to cultivate liberation from societal constraints and embark on a path toward personal growth, fulfillment, and freedom.